at least to the point where she could admit that she wants to have children out of selfishness, because she's selfish, but not because, I'm gonna have kids because I have good genes and my kids will be tall and that will be good for them. That I cannot believe, that intelligent people can think like that.
Yeah, well, they have egos. Citizen Worm has a big, giant ego. So that's the end of that explanation. And unfortunately, that's what people live on. Remy has a pretty big ego too. But whatever. I just don't know. Like I said, Remy, you've made videos, but you don't make videos making an argument. You just say, well, this idea of being practical about life and measuring the good against the bad. Well, that doesn't. Well, that's being that pragmaticness. That's simply incomprehensible to me. I mean, that's not an explanation of why value doesn't exist. you know, life is not. You're not life on Earth. Life on Earth is happening in a 7 billion other human beings, and literally, I don't know how many, what, a trillion animals. I mean, how many sentient creatures are roaming the Earth? That's where life is. It's not Remy. I don't know. I haven't met too many lesbians that are like Citizen Worm. I mean, come on, she's a piece of work, and she speaks perfect English too. That's another one of her qualifications to have children. She speaks perfect English. She's one of the few human beings on Earth that speaks perfect English.
Yeah, I think I was thinking about what the morbid atheist said, and I think he wasn't referring to the having kids subject or to the suffering subject. I think he was referring to the alien subject. We had a little bit of a debating text over it, because I don't start with the premise that there is no life in the universe except the Earth. I just go with the premise that if there is life in the universe, and I don't know, I think there is. It's better that we never
I
find it.
think I think is the tricky part here, though. Why do you think it? We have absolutely no evidence to base the equation on. The existence of that first reproducing machine, the DNA cell, that first abiogenesis piece of chemistry, could have been, theoretically, the most impossible event that ever took place in the history of the universe. What we do know is that it's not a likely event. It's a highly unlikely event. Complex chemistry just doesn't happen. It doesn't. It only happens in a very rare instance. And then when you add up all the other rare instances that had to take place after it even acquired the ability to reproduce, it had to do the evolution thing, and it had to acquire you know, the sentience thing, and then it had to do all this other stuff to become meaningful life in the universe. I mean, there's no way, there's no reason to believe it's a common event. And then we haven't even talked about how uncommon the Earth's atmosphere was, okay? And the fact that that atmosphere went from, that the life actually changed the atmosphere of the planet. So it has to be a planet where it's capable of changing the atmosphere, and where it's not going to get hit with a meteor too often. It's not going to get hit by a comet. It's not. I mean, we can. All I'm saying is that there's every reason to believe it's highly, highly rare, not that it's highly abundant. And well, they're not even highly abundant. I mean, there's just there's no way to think. That's all. That's all. That's, I guess, my only argument. We can't think it one way or the other. We can't think it doesn't exist, and we can't think it does, because there's no evidence to think it based on. It's just whether I like the idea of. Then you can say that, but you can't say I think, because it's not a thinking equation, because we don't have the fucking variables.
Yeah, with me it's the opposite. I wouldn't like that there was life in the universe, especially intelligent life, which I think is unlikely. I was talking just about life, but intelligent life, the chances are really. But I wouldn't like. I mean, and if there was, I wouldn't like us to find it because I mean, why would we do that? Look what happened when we found the fucking Indians. But I'm gonna say why I think there is. I mean, the evidence cannot be because we don't have the tools to have the evidence. We haven't even, gone on fucking Europa to check if there is life there because we don't have the money and the equipment yet to go to see if there is life there. But we will have in like about 3 years, and if there is life there, like unicellular life, then we will have to accept the hypothesis that life in the universe is not that rare. But why I think it is because the Earth is about 4.5 billion years old, and life has been around 3.8 billion years old, which I mean it developed pretty early. And you're talking about evolution, but Gary, the evolution took place in 500 million years, after the Cambrian explosion. Until then, it was only unicellular. Basically, in 500 million years, we developed the consciousness, everything, which is a really short period of time compared to the age of the universe, which shows that if the proper conditions are, life will evolve.
But still, that's still based on absolutely nothing. It doesn't matter. I could roll you could say it's impossible for you to flip this coin and have it land on its edge 7 times in a row. Well, the fact that I did it, is going to make it seem like, well, that's just goddamn miraculous that you did that. Well, we have no way of knowing how miraculous it was, how unusual it was. So the fact that it took 500 million years or 10 gazillion million years doesn't give us any information regarding how likely or unlikely it is. So it's just completely, it's not an equation. And the idea is that if we can't build a damn thing, we know the atmosphere on Europa, we know the circumstances, we can make goddamn synthetic diamonds, okay? But we can't fucking figure out how to smash DNA and a cellular membrane together and create something that's going to be able to reproduce itself. We can't do it. Turn off your fucking mic, KKFed123.
Lefty has the hands up, that's why I'm not talking.
Okay, well, let me kill this fucking Kefir guy because he ain't gonna turn his fucking mic off, so fuck him. Why do people dock up when they don't know how to turn their fucking mic off?
That's why I'm glad my mic has a mute button on it.
Yeah, go ahead, Lefty. But you have such terrible lag that, fucks the whole thing up.
Better now.
I'll defer my time to the Congresswoman from Eastern Europe.
Yeah, I assume Gary can hear me. Okay, so basically, if we consider the age of the Earth, okay, we have to consider the very beginning of the Earth, which was a really, really violent time for the Earth. There was no way there could be life, after it was first created. And then it took a while. I don't remember how many 100 million years, but it took, I don't know, I think 300 million years, something about that, for another fucking planet, which is not sure if it was a planet or an asteroid, but it was the size of the moon, okay, to impact the Earth. And then the impact was so big, everything blew up, and then the moon was created, and the entire atmosphere changed. And then a very short while after that, life appeared. So life began basically as soon as the conditions were for life. This is what I'm saying. Now, if you consider
a violent ocean. Yeah, those are the conditions. But I'm still saying it doesn't matter how fast it happened. If it took 10 billion years, I wouldn't be able to make the counter argument. If it took 10 billion years, I couldn't make the counter argument. Well, it took that long because it's this hard to do. No, it doesn't mean anything on what permutation it happened. It doesn't tell us anything about the actual odds. It's like your sister winning the lottery and you saying, well, look, she won the lottery, it must be easy to do. Of course that doesn't mean it's easy to do.
What I'm saying is that, I mean, at least, in the scientific community, the general consensus is that if there are the conditions for life, life will probably be,
A general consensus based on no fucking evidence is my point again. Okay, this is again observing the fact that my sister won the lottery, therefore I will ignore the odds, I will ignore